What's up, guys? How you guys doing? I hope you're doing well. I'm fine. Now, today we are about to look at this video of countries warning their citizens not to visit America. Well, listen, I did that video. I forget which one it was, but it was a video that I did, and I was saying this. Come on, it's really unlikely that people will just stop going to visit America. But if all these countries stick together, their citizens stick together and unite, Europe, man, listen, America, you are in trouble, man, because the boycotting is real. So let's get in this video. I'm not gonna waste any time. If you're new to the channel, please let me know where you're chiming in from. I'm gonna talk to you. Don't even worry about it. We're gonna talk, have a little conversation in the chat if you would like. But yeah, let me know where you chiming in from, and let's watch this video.
Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into something wild. 10 countries that are straight up telling their people, hey, maybe skip the US for now. Crazy, right? We're talking travel warnings, border dramas, and some serious global shade. Why are these nations hitting the brakes on US trips? Stick around as we break it all down country by country.
Break it down.
If you're new here, smash that subscribe button and let's get into it. First up, the United Kingdom. The UK's Foreign Office updated its travel advice for the US in March 2025, warning Brits about strict entry rules. They're telling travelers to double-check visa or ESTA requirements because even valid documents might not guarantee entry.
Why?
Reports of British citizens detained at U.S. borders for minor visa issues, like overstays or unclear travel purposes, have spiked since Trump's immigration crackdown kicked in. The advisory doesn't call it a ban, but it's clear. Follow the rules or risk arrest. Wow. The UK sends about 4 million tourists to the U.S. yearly, so this could dent that number. Some Brits are even canceling trips, fearing a hostile welcome. The tension might tie back to Trump's comments on European trade, too, calling out the EU hasn't helped. For now, the UK's message is caution. Enjoy your trip, but have your paperwork in order, or you might be on the next flight home.
Yeah.
Next, Germany.
Yeah, that's not telling them not to go, but that's telling them be careful, and it's like telling you you might run into some trouble, so it's kind of deterring you from going. Wow.
The German Federal Foreign Office updated its U.S. travel advice this month, stressing that a visa or ESTA doesn't mean you're in the clear. They've warned that U.S. officials can deny entry at their discretion, no appeal allowed. This comes after several German nationals were detained at U.S. borders in early 2025, some for past minor overstays or vague travel plans. Germany's not calling it a travel ban, but the tone's serious. Expect scrutiny. About 2 million Germans visit the U.S. annually, and this could shake that up. The advisory also hints at broader unease. Trump's hardline policies, like his two-gender stance, clash with Germany's progressive values, especially for trans travelers. Add in trade spats, and it's a perfect storm. Germans are being told to prepare for tough questioning and possible rejection. Travel's still on, but it's not the carefree trip it once.
Germany is beautiful. I swear their grass is so green and lakes are so blue over there. I just want to put that in there, guys. I love Germany, and I love the way it looks.
Number 3 is Canada, our neighbors to the north. Recently, Canada updated its U.S. travel advisory, urging citizens to register with U.S. authorities if staying over 30 days. This follows a Vancouver woman's week-long detention at the border over a visa mix-up. Wow. Canadian MP Charlie Angus even went viral, pleading, avoid the U.S. if possible, calling it a tyranny under Trump. The advisory is practical. Follow entry rules or face deportation, but the rhetoric's heated. Canada's worried about Trump's threats to annex them as the 51st state, plus border crackdowns hitting dual citizens hard. With millions crossing yearly, this could chill travel. Some Canadians are boycotting U.S. trips over politics, too. It's not a full warning yet, but the vibe's clear. The U.S. isn't as welcoming as it was, and Ottawa wants its people ready for a rougher ride south of the border. Coming in at 4, Denmark. This Scandinavian country revised its U.S. travel advisory with a twist. It's specifically warning transgender travelers. Why? The Trump administration's two-gender policy means passports with an X marker might get you turned away. Denmark's telling its citizens to contact the U.S. Embassy first if they're trans or non-binary. Beyond that, they're echoing others. Valid visas don't guarantee entry, and enforcement's tight. Denmark's progressive stance clashes with U.S. shifts, and this advisory reflects that tension. It's not a blanket don't go, but it's a red flag for a specific group. Danish tourists, about 300,000 yearly, might rethink plans, especially with horror stories of border detentions circulating. Add Trump's EU critiques and Denmark's caution makes sense. Travel's doable, but for some, it's a risk not worth taking right now. Fifth on our list is Finland. Like Denmark, Finland updated its U.S. travel advisory in March 2025, zeroing in on transgender and non-binary travelers. With Trump's policy recognizing only male or female genders, Finnish passports with X markers could lead to entry denials. The advice: check with the U.S. Embassy before booking. Finland's also warning about stricter border checks. Visas or ESTA approvals aren't sure thing anymore. This follows reports of Europeans, including Finns, facing unexpected detentions. Finland's small but steady flow of U.S. tourists, around 200,000 yearly, might dip if this sticks. The advisory's not a full stop, but it's a heads up. The U.S. feels less predictable now. Tensions over Trump's EU stance and Finland's inclusive values add context. For Finns, it's about weighing the hassle against the trip. Caution's the name of the game. At number 6, France.
What's
The
up?
French government hasn't issued a formal U.S. travel warning yet, but they updated guidance, urging citizens to be vigilant about entry rules. France is watching the trend. Detentions of Europeans at U.S. borders are up, and they're not taking chances. The advisory flags that even valid visas might not cut it if U.S. officials suspect anything off. France sends over 1 million tourists to the U.S. yearly, so this matters. Some link it to Trump's EU trade jabs. France isn't thrilled with his screw the EU vibe. Plus, there's chatter about safety for LGBTQ plus travelers after U.S. policy shifts. It's not a don't go yet,
What
but
does
the
that
tone is
have to-
shifting. Travel blogs say French tourists are nervous about feeling unwelcome. For now,
Yeah, but hold on. What does that have to? What does the LGBTQ have to do with France? Because I don't think on the French passport there's not a option for the transgender. I don't think. I'm not sure, but I think it's only male and female. Guys, if you have a French passport, I have a lot of French on the channel. Let me know. Is it only male and female? Because if it's something, the LGBTQ, y'all don't have to worry about nothing. But if it's like that transgender thing for Finland and Denmark, then you might be. But I don't think it's like that in France.
France says go, but go prepared. The U.S. isn't the open door it once was for less blues. 7th, New Zealand. New Zealand updated its U.S. travel advice,
New Zealand?
warning Kiwis that entry's no sure thing, even with an ESTA. The advisory cites tougher border enforcement, with risks of detention for minor slip-ups like overstays. This follows a few high-profile cases of New Zealanders turned back at U.S. airports. About 300,000 Kiwis visit the U.S. yearly, and this could slow that down. New Zealand's government isn't saying don't go, but they're blunt. U.S. officials have final say, no exceptions. Some tie this to Trump's global trade rhetoric. New Zealand's an ally, but not immune to tension. Social media is buzzing with Kiwis debating if it's worth the risk.
They call Kiwis
Safety's
in
not
New
the
Zealand.
issue. It's the unpredictability.
Kiwis.
New Zealand's message is clear. Love the U.S., but pack patience and perfect paperwork, or you might be watching the Statue of Liberty from a deportation lounge. Number 8 is Australia. Australia's Department of Foreign Affairs raised its U.S. travel advice, warning Aussies to expect rigorous border checks. Even with an ESTA or visa, entry's not guaranteed. U.S. officials can deny you for past overstays or unclear intentions. This comes after reports of Australians detained stateside, some for minor visa hiccups. Around 1.5 million Aussies visit the U.S. yearly, so this hits home. The advisory's not a ban, but it's a wake-up call. Trump's immigration push means business. Some Aussies are souring on U.S. trips,
I don't understand.
citing trade
See, this is
spats and a
crazy.
closed-off vibe.
I don't understand why he is like this with everybody. It's clear on who he is trying to get out of America. We know which countries he's targeting and which people he's trying to get out of there. Why is he doing this to the Europeans? Like, bro, there's European. Who is some European immigrants in America that's like illegal immigrants? It's coming from the south of the border. He's going after the Venezuelans, the Mexicans, and things like of that nature. Why is he doing this with everybody? That's my question. Especially when you have a lot of tourists, like millions and millions of tourists coming from Europe. That's a lot of money that the U.S. is losing out on. And also the relationships are not going as well. People are not going to want to go and see America if they're having bad times when they go, bad experiences.
Safety's fine, but the hassle? Less appealing. Australia's still pro-travel, urging prep over panic. Check rules, dot I's, cross T's. For now, it's about navigating a stricter system, not avoiding it. The U.S. remains a draw, but the welcome mats got some new fine print. 9th, Ireland. Ireland's Department of Foreign Affairs updated its U.S. travel advice, cautioning citizens about tighter entry rules. They're warning that even valid visas or ESTAs might not get you past U.S. customs if something's off, like a passed-over stay. This follows tales of Irish travelers detained at borders, sparking headlines back home. Ireland sends about 700,000 tourists to the U.S. yearly, many tied to family ties, so this stings. The advisory's not a don't go, but a be ready. U.S. enforcement's no joke under Trump. Some Irish see it as fallout from his EU critiques. Others just want a smooth J one summer. No major safety flags, just procedural headaches. Ireland's keeping it practical. Know the
I don't
rules
like this
or risky
artificial intelligence
the US
guy.
is still a draw, but
His
the charm's
voice is
dimming if
garbage.
you're stuck explaining yourself at JFK.
And his flow of
Caution's key here.
conversation.
Finally, the Netherlands, the Dutch government tweaked its U.S. travel advice, warning citizens that entry's trickier now. Even with an ESTA or visa, U.S. officials can say no. Passed overstays or vague plans could land you in detention. This follows a few Dutch travelers getting bounced at the border, raising eyebrows. The Netherlands sends about 800,000 tourists to the U.S. yearly, and this might cool that off. The advisory's not a ban, just a heads up. Trump's policies mean stricter scrutiny. Some Dutch tie it to his EU trade barbs. Relations are chillier. Others worry about progressive travelers, like trans folks, facing hassles after the two-gender rule. Safety's not the issue. Unpredictability is. The Dutch say go, but go smart. Check everything twice. The U.S. is still on the map, but it's less of a carefree jaunt for Netherlanders now. That's it. 10 countries waving red flags about U.S. travel in March 2025. From border hassles to policy clashes,
crazy.
It's a wild shift. What do you think? Fair warnings or overreaction?
I'll tell you what I think. I think it's good to warn your people and let them know what's going on. Nothing wrong with it. It's not an overreaction, especially if there's been cases of individuals from these countries getting bounced out or getting put into deportation. Come on, you have to let your people know what's going on. That's only right. So I agree with it. Let them know. But I didn't know it was that strict from America. That's crazy. Trump is not playing. He's really out here trying to ruin relationships with his allies. But anyway, guys, I'm out of here. That's the video. Let me know what you thought about it. I don't like this AI dude's voice. Like I said, his conversation flow is, no, come on. Next time, man, get a better AI guy. But I'll see you guys in the next video.